Ad-van-tures Over 50, Tracey got her groove back, and she got something for the trolls. What's up, everybody? How is everyone doing today there, blind viewers? All right, let's just start, shall we? Let's start with Chrome, Vancity Vanlife. Now, I'm not one for tours of rigs a lot. I usually don't watch them a whole lot because there's just so many of them, and it doesn't really thrill me that much unless it's something really special and really cool. And this one is. It's a special little, well, here.
Hi, this is Daphne, otherwise known as Daphne the Blind Dog, and my name is Dawn, her BFF, and the author of her 2 books. This is our van named Gibby, and we are going to be using the van next year for a cross-Canada book tour. It is a Ford Transit. It's a 2020. I did get it used, about 17,000 kilometers on it at the beginning. We have been living in it kind of on weekends right now, getting used to the van, figuring out what we want, what we like. So I've built it up a little bit until we have a professional build done. Okay, come and see our van.
So you can guess why. That's right, I was drawn to this one. The blind guy heard blind dog, and I had to go check it out and see. So go over to Chrome, Vancity Vanlife, if you want to hear more about the story of that lovely lady and the blind little dog, and see the van. And I will leave a link, of course, below. I will leave a link to Chrome's video that I am referring to, and I will also leave a link to the page, the website, or whatever it is, if you will, so you can go over and check out the story of the little blind dog. Yes, see, Blind View's got a soft spot for blind animals too, not just people. All right, now let's shift gears to Tracey. Ad-van-tures Over 50. All right, well, she's been on her way here trying to find her footing on the YouTubes and in van life, and she is getting her groove. She's trudging right along. She's finding her space in all this, and life is looking pretty good. And let me tell you, this only Tracey. No matter where she goes, she seems to run into some cool people and have interesting little conversations along the way.
That RV. So I was walking by and parked over there. I like to take walks when I stop just to get exercise. I'm gonna sit on the table here. And so these 2 women, I was walking by and they're like, excuse me, and they're not from the US. They're actually Italian. They're from Italy. And so they asked me, she's like, I am a newbie to this. I'm like, yeah, so am I. And she was trying to fill her water. They were dumping and then putting fresh water. There's a spigot over there, but there were 2 spigots. So, but we figured it out.
So yeah, it's a nice little story. Some folks from Italy, and Tracey gets to help them out. And there's a little story to it too, where it's wild why they're going to where they're going. It's an interesting little story. So check that out. But there's even more. She went on a little adventure. Basically, she went and had some fun. I'm not going to show too much when you go over and watch it and check it out for yourself, but yeah, why jump out of a perfectly good airplane when you can go do it that way? All right, now, comments. Tracey's been having some issues with some of the comments and the way people have been treating her, and some of the things we you know how it is. Once you get on YouTube, you start getting the comments, especially when you grow fast like she has, only been out here, a couple months and already zooming up to 10,000 subscribers and all that good stuff. So of course, she's got people, all kinds of crazy shit. But yeah, they can say some stuff, but when they start attacking your character, it kind of gets to you more than the other stuff does.
You can't hurt me because I finally remembered who I am. Like, I am secure with my character. Go ahead and try to dig something up because you aren't going to find anything. So you can't hurt me anymore with your comments, and I actually think they're laughable.
They're laughable. That's right. And speaking of laughable,
like I said, yeah, that's what I said.
I just had to play that. That was funny. Just her face when that horn went off. Good stuff. But yeah. So she's dealing with the comments. She's letting this stuff roll off. I mean, and it's some crazy stuff too. People are, we got a whole team of people. It's a whole crew, and we're tracking you down, and we're digging into your past, and we know you're a fake and a this and that. It's just funny stuff. So it it got to her, but she's finding her footing. She got her groove, and she got something for all the people that want to leave her little comments.
I tried to follow you, but you just like yourself too much. What?
So that's just a little taste. Just a little taste of what she has in store. Yeah, so instead of reading comments, answering comments, and doing all that fun stuff, she said, okay, let me make fun of all of y'all. I think it's funny. It's a hoot. But yeah, so definitely go over and check her out and check out her latest video. Fun stuff. Really fun stuff. All right, now let's switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about someone who had I guess you could say a bad experience at a RV campsite at the park, at the campground. Now, I want to talk about this one because it's a little bit different, because we always talk about, the bad things and how things come. I mean, we talked about RV Miles a long way back. They had a real bad experience, and they went to the camp host, and the camp host was in on the whole thing, and it was just a horrible experience. But this one's a little bit different. It starts out pretty janky, but let's just dive into it.
Comes over here. I'm washing off the steps because we're tracking the sticky inside. Comes over here and he says, so, you come to Nevada to waste our water? I said, excuse me? He says, why don't you use a broom? I said, well, a broom doesn't clean off the sticky. So he stares at me for a minute, walks off and calls me a lazy.
So what the deal is where their site is, there's a tree, and it hangs over, and it drops sap and shit all over the place, all over the picnic table and all over the ground and all over their steps and their rig and everything, and it's covered with sap, and then they're walking around and they're dragging it in, so they're trying to hose this stuff off. It's drawing ants. They said they call, and said, hey, there's ants, and they come over. They said they come over right away, and they spray for the ants and they get rid of the ants, but there's really not a whole lot they're going to do, because as soon as the sap comes down, you're more ants and everything. So they're trying to hose the stuff off, and some moron decides he's going to play camp cop. And anyway, Nevada police, water police. But luckily the guy was dealing with them, because if it was me, first of all, I'd have been screaming, and that guy would have been we'd have been in a screaming match, because I told him about himself. But that's not it. That's not all. Later, that same day, not too long after that,
and the guy that harassed us that morning decided to take his trash out. And on his way back from the trash can, he stopped and he says, is that you? Pointed toward the trailer. I said, yeah, that's us. He says, I was a little brutal this morning. I said, yeah, a little bit. And at that point, I thought he was actually going to apologize. But he went on to say something about all you people from California. And I said, we're not all the same from California. And that seemed to set him off. He says, yeah, you are. You just come over here and you just crap all over us. And at that point, Sarah turns around and the guy immediately sticks his finger in her face and says, don't you start. Don't you even start. She tries to politely explain to him the problem that we're having with the tree and the sticky stuff falling all over the place, and while we were washing it off, he starts talking over her, saying, why don't you move? Why don't you just go somewhere else? And Sarah says, well, it looks like this is pointless. Why don't you have a nice evening? And she turns her back on him, and he just walks away. We decided to cut our stay short there and packed up really early the next morning and took off. We called up the front desk, and they were very interested in finding out what happened and what they could do about it. A couple hours later, we received a call from the director of operations, who was very interested in making things right.
All right. Now, the name of that channel is called the Unplanned Route, or Route, however you pronounce it. But yeah, first of all, again, that old fart, he's lucky that he was dealing with those people, because as soon as he'd have wagged his finger at my wife, he'd have had a broken finger and he'd got punched in the face, and then the cops would have been there, and yeah, we wouldn't have had to worry about it, because there would have been a whole big ordeal. Yeah, that shit wasn't flying with me. But anyway, why I wanted to bring this up is because, see, we always hear, or often hear, about how it winds up where the camp is like, well, hey, whatever, you got to go. This guy is a resident or a regular or whatever he is. He seems like he was one of the guys that was there a lot. But they were actually siding with the folks that the old geezer was screaming at. So if you want to hear what the whole outcome is, again, there will be links below. You can go over and check it out for sure. Pretty cool story. A pretty nice outcome after all. But still, it just goes to show you, again, one more time, that it's a good life. You're out there and you're traveling around, you're living your life. And I know everybody doesn't like the campsites anyway, but some people do. Some people like to be hooked up. Some people like to take a 10-minute shower, 20-minute shower, and not worry about filling their tanks up. They want to be able to go to the bathroom, dump their tanks, have the water coming in, and be plugged in, have everything running, and run their ACs, and just, live the way they want to. So, some people just like to be in the parks where they have all the amenities. Everybody isn't friendly, because you hear, oh, this is just one big, lovely, awesome community, and no, we all love each other and it's all good to go. And then you're going to say, well, that guy is a resident, he's a local. Well, sure, he's a local of the state. Doesn't mean he lives there, but he's still an RVer, isn't he? He still lives in his RV. He's still part of the community that everybody loves one another. We all look after each other. We all got each other's back. It's one big, happy, loving family, and you just need to come because it's great. It's great. Well, it's just like everywhere else. It's just like every other neighborhood. You got assholes, you got Karens, you got dickheads, you got nice people, and even these folks said that the majority of the park was a lot of nice people. They just happened to have the run-in with the asshole of the park. But yeah, there's always one in every bunch. So it doesn't matter if you're one of the wheeled wonders or you're living in sticks and bricks or whatever. There's assholes everywhere. And if you don't see the assholes, well then, hey, maybe you're the asshole.
This is Blind Views, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.